Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the In-Depth series. Today we are going to discuss a very important and interesting topic. There is a controversy with respect to Rupin Sharma's candidature and election as DGP for the state of Nagaland. What is all this? We will discuss in brief, trying to make it crisp but informative. So from the perspective of GS Mains paper 2nd and 4th, it is important to look into these matters. First of all, let us look at the background. The Nagaland government has issued an order appointing Rupin Sharma as the Director General of State Police, and they have done so after relieving him of the charge of Home Guards and Civil Defence. Now, if we move back to January 23rd of this year, the Supreme Court had directed the Nagaland government to appoint him as the police chief within a week. And the Nagaland government challenged the UPSC's recommendation of Sharma as the only candidate for the post. There is a need to provide a panel of 3 names for this election to happen according to the protocol. But that did not happen, and that is why it was challenged, in the Supreme Court itself. Nagaland's previous DGP, T. John Longkumen, he was due to retire in August 2022, but he got a 6-month extension from the Union government. It allowed him to remain in office beyond the date of superannuation. But the Supreme Court asked the state to send a panel of eligible officers to replace him. So the state's list had Rupin Sharma's name and A. Sunil Acharya's name. He is an officer of the 1991 batch of the IPS. But UPSC sent only Sharma's name to Nagaland for consideration, because what happens that A. Sunil Acharya has been shouldered important responsibilities by the centre. So the centre is not relieving him. It did not relieve him. Also, he was reluctant to become the DGP of Nagaland. So that is why only Rupin Sharma's name was sent. But according to Prakash Singh judgment, it is said that the panel must have at least 3 officers for the selection. However, the SC recently ruled in favor of the UPSC, saying that if there is a possibility, first of all, there is a possibility that 3 names are not eligible or available for smaller states like Nagaland, it can be, overlooked. Second, it also said, the Supreme Court said that the judgment in the Prakash Singh case with respect to 3 names in a panel, it is not sacrosanct, so it can be abridged. Moving ahead. Now, appointment of DGPs is related, Prakash Singh judgment is related to appointment of DGPs and police reforms in, of course, we have to understand whenever this occurs, the judgment, the case name occurs, it should come into your mind, it is related to appointment of DGPs and police reforms. Now here, according to the Supreme Court's guidelines on the appointment of police chiefs, the DGP is to be selected by the state government, from among the 3 senior most officers who have been empaneled for promotion to the rank by the UPSC on the basis of their first, length of service, second, very good record, and third, range of experience for heading the police force. So these 3 criteria were given. The DGP should have a fixed tenure of 2 years in the post, which is irrespective to the date of retirement, and a DGP can be removed only in exceptional circumstance. Who is a DGP? The DGP is the head of the department who has administrative powers to look after the functioning of the department, and disciplinary authority also is possessed by him or her. Now, what is the process of appointment? Looking by the guidelines of the Supreme Court, under the guidelines of the Supreme Court, the UPSC issued its own guidelines in 2009 on the appointment of the DGPs, in which it said that states are supposed to draw up and send the UPSC a list of eligible officers. Now, these officers should be with at least 30 years of service behind them. And this is along with these officers' service record, performance appraisal and vigilance clearance. All these criteria are also seen. And they should have been holding rank of ADG or the rank of police chief stipulated for that state. The list is supposed to be given to the UPSC 6 months before the retirement of the before the incumbent DGP is to retire. Okay, and then what happens when the names are sent? An empanelment committee, which is headed by the UPSC chairman, the Union Home Secretary, State Chief Secretary, State GDP, and the Chief of Central Police Organization. All these people are a part of that empanelment committee. They select a panel of 3 officers, which is based on merit. For smaller states that may have only one cadre post of DGP, the committee is supposed to say 2 names. This is what the UPSC guidelines said. Okay, and under the rules, consent of an officer is not required for her posting. Also, the center has the power to not release an officer for posting in the state, which has happened with Acharya. Okay, for smaller states like Himachal Pradesh, Manipur, Nagaland, Uttarakhand, Tripura, and Sikkim, it was also said that let's bring down the years of service to 25 rather than 30. Okay, moving on. Through 2 orders which were passed in 2018 and 19, the SC has also stipulated that the UPSC shall not put in the panel any officer with less than 6 months to retirement. So remember all this. Okay, moving on. Now Supreme Court, if we have to talk about how closely these rules are followed, the Supreme Court has said that there must be no temporary or ad hoc appointments of police chiefs. And in Nagaland, former DGP had to quit midway in his extended tenure only after a petition was filed in the court. The center has used the Prakash Singh judgment selectively. Okay, it is also said. And the issue is, according to some critiques of it, if a state has given a list, say, of a dozen officers, it may not be the case that they think that just 3 of them are eligible. There can be more eligible candidates who might not be senior enough to get the position. So there may be more meritorious officers below them. Okay, sources have said that the exit of UP DGP Mukul Goyal in May 2022 was a result of the state-center friction, and this generally happens whenever it is said that the state finds that even if a person has been designated for the DGP ranking, it is said that sometimes states find it hard to digest because there could be more meritorious candidates for the post, for the rank of DGP. So because of this reason only this friction occurred, and finally only after serving for 10 months in that rank, Mukul Goyal was suspended or relieved from his duty for disregarding official work, and this was kind of an embarrassment, big embarrassment. But this has not been the case at all times. For supposedly, if we talk about 2019, the appointment of IPS officer Dinkar Gupta as Punjab DGP was challenged in the court by those senior to him, one among them being IPS officer Muhammad Mustafa. And here the UPSC said that we have not seen seniority because this person was senior. UPSC said we are taking him to that rank because of the merit he possesses, and he held very good service record and range of experience. Who? IPS officer Dinkar Gupta. So this was said by the UPSC in the Supreme Court. So what happens that the Supreme Court it denied the petition of Muhammad Mustafa, saying Muhammad Mustafa did not possess certain skills which were needed for him to become a DGP. So I hope you understood the entire controversy, and because of the open-endedness of the appointment structure of for these ranks, it becomes imperative for us to understand how open-endedness or the nature of appointment or the political upheaval it does when any appointment to the rank of DGP occurs. It becomes imperative for us to understand that there is a specific criteria which is needed, which is not subjective in nature all the time. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay updated.